Come on. Just pooped on me. Ew. Come on now. Ugh, I don't know how to set it up. Okay. Hi there. Sorry, I'm just trying to set up the camera. It's been a bit frustrating. Doesn't let me set it up as I wanted. Hello. Okay, it would be amazing if you could tell me if you can see what's happening. Oh. Okay, I think this is good. Okay, so let's see if I manage to do something like this. Juan, stop barking. Juanillo. I have my parrot here under the chair who's barking at me. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys my relaxation process. This is what I'm doing to kind of de-stress. I have my birds with me here. So if you see them in the video, there are Boo Boo, Ramon, and Juan, who might appear. Anyway, my Boo Boo's eating here and dropping stuff onto. Wait, Boo Boo, let me move this. Let me move this here. Go, eat it there, please. Thank you. Okay, so I wanted to show you my flowers, and I wanted to show you one thing. I didn't share it anywhere. So this is stuff I do in Procreate just to kind of relax. This one is a cat that I was drawing. I don't know. I'm struggling with the watercolor thing. I really want to learn it, but this is how far I got, and I don't manage to finish it. So anyways, but and I just discovered the pastels on iPad, and it's really kind of exciting. It's very cool. We'll be looking at maybe how to introduce them into the channel as well. So that would be very cool if someone could write something so I'm not talking to myself all alone. Okay, so I wanted to show you this little sketch that I've been doing recently, so yesterday, and I've been really unhappy with it in the beginning, but then I just thought, like, seriously, this stupid thing of perfectionism, it's really getting to me, and I decided that I need to try and get away from realism and try to kind of loosen up. I really like illustration, and so this is kind of me trying to loosen up and go more like stylized. So I wanted to do another plant today, so let's do this one. And I just wanted to show you my process. if you would like to see it. So the first thing I do is I need to create a new layer, and I have this canvas from Lisa Glantz. I love her canvases and her brushes, and I also am using her brushes. So these are the Aquarelle 2 2.0 brushes, and they're really cool to use on an iPad. So I'm kind of basically just sketch and relax. Sketch and relax. So I have Juan here under my chair, who is very excited for some reason and talkative. I'm going to lower the opacity of this layer, and there's Ramon. Say hi, Ramon. Yes. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to cover, let's see, yeah, it's taking time. So my iPad is not very new. I want to cover the leaves, and this brush, the universal brush from Lisa, it's very cool because it creates those hard edges, but I will show you also a trick how to create hard edges on iPad. And this palette is by Rocher, damn it, Woodworth. Forgot her surname, sorry. It's very cool. It has these pastel tones, and I'm trying to work in one palette on the same illustration, and also in multiple illustrations. Stop chewing off my pencil. Multiple illustrations, just to see if I like the palette or if I want to change some colors. And so let's see, I'm going to outline my leaves, create those leaves. And the trick with these brushes, you can actually use, I have multiple watercolor brushes also. I'll show you. I have the Adilson Farias watercolor brushes. They're very cool. And I have both Aquarelle from Lisa. They're very nice. I like the second ones better because, I don't know, it's easier to use for me. And what I want to do first, as I said, I want to start layering the first leaves. And I have Ramon, who's trying to eat me. And my glove. So once for now, I'm using the same color for the leaves, and this glove is actually falling apart. I need to take the other one. I'm using for now the same color for the leaves, because then I will show you a trick how you can change the color easily when using watercolor. Ramon, get off! Get off! Ah, sorry. She's moving the phone. Okay, so the sketch is rough in this one. I just wanted to try something else out. I wanted to... Can you get off of there, please? I just wanted to... what was I saying? I forgot now. Ramon, because of you. In this one, I didn't want to use the pencil lines. I just wanted to do full watercolor only. So in this, first I create my first layer. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to select everything. Oh, great. I made a mark there. Fine, let's remove it. There. So what I'm going to do to create those hard edges and to actually make it more interesting, the color. So the first thing, already now that I have my first layer in, what I want to do is I want to select everything, and then I will go into the feather mode. And the first thing I do is I select a small amount, like for example 5% of the automatic selection, and then from brightness I lower the brightness a bit, and I higher the saturation. Okay, so I raise the saturation and lower the brightness, and then I go back to pressing and holding on the selection tool, and I'm going to feather it a bit more. And again, I'm going to go here and just lift the brightness slightly and just lower, lift the saturation and lower the brightness. So this, what it allows me to do, it allows me to create these awesome watercolor edges. So this is how it was, I'll show you before. So there are no edges almost, and this is after. So now let's take away the sketch. So you can see it kind of creates that hard edge of the watercolor line that you get normally. Now what I want to, excuse me. Now what I want to do is I want to introduce some more colors, and I really like doing it by creating another layer and multiply. So I'm just learning these brushes myself at the moment. Again, I'm gonna, sorry, I had to select the other layer. So I'm going to select again everything, and in this case I'm going to invert it so I have my leaves selected. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto a new layer and multiply, and I'm going to take a warmer color, and I like these two brushes here. So there is one smudge wash, which is a nice brush if you want to add, for example, watery kind of subtle tones into your watercolor. So here I'm gonna go add a bit of green first, a bit more at the tips of my leaves with this brush, and then I'm gonna use another one with the warmer color. So this kind of creates this watery effect when you add watercolor and you smudge it all out into the wet area, so it's kind of wet on wet. We don't create hard edges here, but at the same point, by creating the new layer, I'm not losing the edges of the ones that I've created, because if you use this directly on the layer that is, let's turn this off. If you use this brush directly on this layer, look what's gonna happen. So you see, you lose these edges, and I don't want to do that. So that's why I'm creating a new layer in multiply mode. And what I want to do is I want to add some warm. Ramon, stop biting, boo boo. Boo boo, did you get caught in the? Sorry, I have the bird drama happening here. So I'm gonna take a warmer color, and there's another cool, really cool texture. So water stains, these ones, we can use another layer here just so we can, in case, move it. So I'm gonna put it in multiply, and I'm going to paint the water stains. I'm gonna decrease the opacity a bit, so you can see that these marks, they kind of add the random stains that replicate the original watercolor. Hola, hola, Juan, yes. And as I added some yellows, I'm gonna add a bit of blues as well, and I'm gonna use a different clipping mask here. I'm gonna use, I'm gonna use the hard edge texture from the same brush pack. And here I want to, lost my selection. So I'm gonna go back, do the selection, the automatic selection, and go back to my layer. And we're gonna invert it. Yes, thank you. And here I'm going to add now the blues, just to change a bit the colors. And you can see that this brush set is really cool because you can add the layers in the clipping mask. Not only one stain, but it's like by dragging it, you can create unique kind of patterns. But I think I liked it the way it was like this. So I have the leaves created, and now another thing that I want to do is, first of all, I'm going to select this layer. I'm going to deselect it, and I want to show you a trick. So I'm going to remove these layers here, which I have in multiply, which add colors, but I want to change the base color a bit as well, so it's not just one flat color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the freehand selection tool, and this is a trick that I learned from a YouTube tutorial, and I'm going to randomly select some parts of my leaves, feather it out slightly, some 10%, and then I'm going to go into hue, saturation, and brightness. What we can do here is we can decrease a bit the brightness, so kind of intensifying that color, and increasing a bit the saturation. And I can also move into the warmer or cooler tones. So in this case, I want to go a bit warmer. And then I'm going to do the same thing again Sorry. I'm gonna do the same thing with a different selection. Again, feather it out to kind of create watercolor effect. And I'm going to go into cooler tones as well. We can increase and decrease the saturation the way you want. So here already it's kind of creating that watercolor effect, so you can play with these. Okay, so I have warm and cool tones here, and it's kind of watercolor replica in a digital space. And now if I put my other layers on, we have a different feel to it. So I'm going to lower the opacity of this layer a bit. Okay, now I can go back to my sketch, and what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create another layer under here, and I'm going to do the pot itself. Okay, so I'm going to select the color, and for this I think I'm going to go blue because I have reds here, and let's break it up a bit. I'm going to go blue, and what we can do here, we can select a translucent wash. So I'm going to show you how it looks. And then we can layer it with other colors. Or we can go with the same brush that I was using. And I'm going to outline first. So this is quite dark. I chose another color, sorry. So let's go here. This is really, really difficult for me to break away from the perspective and to draw not according to the drawing rules, because this is really kind of wrong. But that's actually the thing that I want to achieve, because it's really difficult to stylize things for me. So I'm trying to loosen up. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take a blender. I'm going to blend out these harsh areas. Actually, I don't like it. I'm going to redo the whole layer. Remove this. I'm going to do it better. Select a bigger size brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, you see, my iPad. Oh, and it really costs it sometimes to keep up with me. Okay, so as I said, okay, now we can blend out these areas. I need to wait until my iPad reacts. So the blender that I'm using, I showed you, it's the blender from the same brushes from Aquarelle. And what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna blend out those edges. I don't want to kind of destroy the texture of watercolor. Take a bigger blender. Hola, Juan. Juan is talking. Hola. So, hola. I really like these edges of the watercolor that it creates. And now what I want to do is I want to erase. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select a selection tool with freehand, and I'm going to, actually let's do a better thing. I'm going to select this layer that we had created already. I'm going to go to automatic selection, select everything, invert it, and I'm going to go to my layer here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear it. There we go. So this way we don't have the overlap of the leaves on the blue, so the leaves, they still stay the same color. Okay, so now we can fix our colors, and to do that, what I'm gonna do is, first of all, let's add the shadow here, or let's leave it with the shadow with the leaves. Let's do step by step. So Sorry, I'm gonna drink some water. Okay, so here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing exactly. I'm going to select this layer, go into automatic selection here as well, and I'm going to create these ones. I can already push them together so it's thinking less. And I'm going to create a new layer in multiply mode, and I really want to add some warm tones into this. So selection again, I lost my selection. Okay, select tone here and leaf, and now we're gonna go here and invert it so we can actually draw on our pot. And I'm going to select a warmer color and introduce the warmer color with this brush. So just to add some earthy tones into it. You see it's like blending in very nicely. And something, maybe some of the warmer green, just to break it up a bit. Okay, so now what I want to do is, because I have my leaves in front, I'm going to leave this layer alone, and I will go instantly and create my selection. And create some color difference here. On this layer, like we did, for example, we want it less saturated and brighter instead. Okay, so you can see already it looks more like watercolor, and it looks more kind of a messy watercolor. That's the whole point. And I wanna adjust a bit the opacity as well. So what I can do now is I can finish these two together, and then I want to create that edge like we did with the leaves, and here as well, and I want to feather it out first a bit less. So I'm going brighter and darker, and then I'm going to keep the same selection, and I'm going to feather it out a bit more, because in watercolor normally what happens is that the paint runs towards the edges, so we can actually see the very hard edge of the watercolor. So I like to kind of increasing it that way. Now that we have our basic shapes in place, what we can do is add the shadows. So I'm gonna go back onto my leaf layer, and I'm going to create the shadows by creating a multiply layer. And what I want to do is I want to select again automatically all my leaves, invert them instantly, and here I will start adding my shadows. So I'm kind of playing with this with the colors, still kind of trying to figure it out, but I'm trying to use the same palette. So I'm going to use the darker green in this case, and let's create a shadow part of the leaf. And for that I'm going to use the shadow brush, so that in the leaf itself I can create a harder edge here, and then kind of blend it away, like smoother into the rest of the leaf. So if the shadow is not dark enough, the cool thing about it is that I can add another layer and make it darker. But I think this is good enough, because I'm going to be then also hatching it a bit with the pencil. Okay, and I really like how these brushes create the harder edge, the harder watercolor edge. Okay, so it layers it over the top. Actually, here I want to do this side so it stands out more. Again, really costs me to go against the kind of the rules of perspective and light and shadow. So let's do this side. Here I'm not going to make it very dark because then I'm going to be darkening the pot itself. Okay, and what I want to do here is I'm going to deselect and again go freehand, selecting this layer only, and I'm going to select randomly some parts of my shadows and make them a bit warmer. I'm going to increase a bit the saturation and go a bit warmer. This kind of gives it more interesting look. Okay, and what I want to do now is I want to do the same thing. I want to add shadows, so I'm going to pinch them together. I want to add shadows here, but here I'm going to use a different brush. So what I want to do is, again, I want to select with the automatic selection only the layer, only the pot that I did, and I'm going to add another layer and multiply again. And I'm going to select a color that is the same blue. Let's see what it will do with the same blue. Okay, so I'm gonna invert the selection. Invert, thank you. Okay, and here what I want to do is I want to select this smudgy watercolor because it's gonna allow me to blend it away. So you see I'm kind of making a darker line. So this is how I would work in traditional watercolor. I'm making a darker kind of edge where the leaf actually overlaps my pot, and then I blend it out into the color itself. So here again I'm doing the same thing and blend it out like so. So this will allow me to put the leaves kind of to the foreground. I'm gonna make a smaller brush here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blend it out the same way. And here again, bringing the leaf out into the foreground. Sorry. So the cool thing about digital watercolor is that you can go back. You can return back to your actions that you did before if you don't like it. So like so, we have the leaves literally kind of popping out. And then I'm gonna select the shadow brush. And I'm going to create the shadow on the inside of my, my glove broke, I need to stitch it. On the inside of the pot itself. So here I'm going to create a hard edge on this side, like so. So that we have the distinction between the outside and the inside of the pot. And I'm gonna add some earthy tones to it, and what I want to do is I want to go a bit desaturated red here. So I'm going to select the same brush. Okay. Now actually I'm going to do this on this layer, the base layer. Okay, and now I also need to create a shadow. So the shadow, what we can do on the pot outside, I'm going to show you a trick. So if we select this same layer, okay, and we do alpha lock and freehand select it like so. Again, really costs me to do this, but because it's not natural, it's not how things are, I can darken the brightness and also increase a bit the saturation of the colors for the shadow part. And look, it's gonna give me a shadow, so I can also blend this out a bit. Oop. Actually no, I like the harder edge. Okay, so the pot, we have it, and what I like to do with the pots, I like to erase things, so I'm using a pencil to erase. And I want to erase some lines on it. There we go. And what we have is a pot. Now we can go to our leaves and add some stalks to them. So I'm going to choose darker green, and I'm going to choose this detailed watercolor kind of pencil. And actually no, in this case I'm going to go with a full-on pencil. So this is just a normal pencil. I'm going to make it a bit, this is too dark because you can't see them. Let's make the stalks a bit lighter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select light color, put this layer, first of all, this one is a normal, yes, and I'm going to create those stalks. Like so. Here we have one more that goes down like so. Okay, now I can already get rid of this sketch because it's really bothering me, and I can add some shadow to my stalks here using the pencil. And don't want to go so bright, so I'm going to choose this color and go just a bit darker. Just to make it stand out a bit, like so. Because here on the blue, you see, you can't see it very good because blue is quite dark. Okay, so using light and dark together, it's going to give us the opportunity to make it visible everywhere. Okay, so we have our leaves, and what I want to do is now I'm going to select again everything, invert, and on another layer in the multiply, let's put it in the multiply, I'm going to add some veins to the leaves, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it smaller, the pencil, and hatch the veins on my leaves. If you use light pressure with this pencil, I really love it, is the fact that it creates these broken lines, and it's like not a full line. It creates a more delicate effect of the line. Let's put it this way. Okay, so on this side, I'm gonna go with the light part. So as I said, I'm experimenting, like I'm taking a look at what I like in other illustrations. And, oh, come on. Okay, woke up. And I use it in my drawings. And to be honest, when you make, like when you do illustrations, when it's not realistic art, it really helps you relax. And here I can add some, no, I don't like those dots. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. I'm gonna do it on the outside. And as I selected only the leaves, like in the kind of clipping mask, my lines don't go out of the leaves, so it's all tidy. Okay, so here let's do maybe this side. So it doesn't matter which side to hatch, actually, as long as it keeps the same kind of style, because I want to have all of these plants illustrated in the same style. Okay. Ah, God. I really need a new iPad. Okay, let's wait a bit, let's draw a bit, and let's see if it comes back to life. There we go. I noticed that because of my super mega perfectionism thing, I really don't like anything that I draw. And it's really difficult for me to be messy in the illustrations. So, really difficult. I don't know if you guys have the same thing, but it just takes me such a long time to actually like my own work, and my iPad got stuck. Nice. Let's wait until it comes back to life. Anyway, let's see if I block. Okay, there we go. So what I was saying is that because of this, I'm trying to get rid of it. I'm trying to actually, like now I'm posting on Instagram all the drawings I do, and I think they're horrible. I think they're not good. Like the same with the cat. I think there's huge potential to that character, but it's just like I don't manage to finish it. I don't know why. I leave the books the same way. Like I read them and then maybe the last chapter. So I have one book that I still have to finish. I don't know if you have the same problems, but I really am trying to work on this perfectionism thing and about being critical to yourself, because it's really bothering me recently and I really want to improve my art. And this is one of the reasons why I wasn't posting anything on YouTube, because everything that I used to do is just like really putting you down. Just looking at it and you think, God, like it could have been so much better. God, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like, why is it so horrible? So, okay, I'm gonna do this last leaf. And then I want to add some splatter onto the leaves themselves. So this is an almost finished illustration. I want to add, so if you can see here, I have some splashes like of color, and I want to do the same thing. So I'm gonna push these layers together, and I'm gonna take green, just a bit more saturated, or maybe let's take a blue, more saturated blue, and I'm gonna create a new layer. Go and multiply. And what I want to do, I really like in these brushes, this is like some kind of a tutorial for the brushes. So I really like in these brushes are the splatter that you can actually achieve. So first I want to want to create the splashes. Like so, and then what I can do is I can do the clipping mask and see if I like it or not. No, I don't like it. They're too large. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some splashes directly where the leaves are. Okay, and then I'm gonna add the clipping mask. Okay, so that's gonna give it a bit more texture. And I think I'm gonna do the same thing with another thing, with some granulation, but I'm gonna go yellow this time. So I'm gonna increase the opacity. Okay, yes. Okay, let's see if I do the clipping mask. Okay. I quite like how it looks. So I wanted to kind of give it more texture, a bit more texture, so it looks a bit more finished. And what we can do now is go and pinch these together. Okay, so another plant done. And again, my iPad decided that it needs some time to think. Okay, so now I have 3 plants that kind of look in that they are made in the similar style. So you can see here I also have some hatching, and here, even though there's no hatching, but there are the lines, like, I don't know, I just was inspired to do lines in this style, so kind of some closer, some further away. So I don't know, let me know, would you like to see another plant in a live, or would you like to see something else? I still have to finish the pots that I didn't do. We need to add some detailing with the pencils in the non-digital environment, so I still have to post that video, but I think like it's quite okay, it's quite done, these 3 plants. So if anyone is watching, could you please comment, would you like to see another plant then? So because what I have here is 2 more, so let's do a little one. Let's do a little one for now. So I have these 3, and actually I'm gonna take away the clipping mask. I don't need the alpha lock, sorry, from this one. I think I'm gonna do the small one, and what I see is like a cream kind of pot, and this is going to be kind of I'm thinking light green plant in its own, like we're not gonna make it very dark in general. Okay, so I'm gonna create a new layer for the new plant, and what I want to do here is I want to go in and instantly add the base layer. Let's kind of go fast through it. I'm gonna create the base layer for my plants. Okay, and I'm gonna go inside and turn off or turn this layer a bit down to see where my watercolor overlaps. I'm going to remove the hard edges within. Okay, what I want to do again, standard procedure, automatic selection, feather it in a bit, intensify the brightness, intensify the saturation and lower the brightness, and then again intensify it again on a larger selection. and I'm going to go brighter and just a bit darker. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to select colors. So this one's going to be a bit simpler. I'm going to go desaturated and make it slightly lighter. Then I'm going to select again random areas. I'm going to add more saturated, and we can go cooler here or warmer, so we can decide. So I'm going to go a bit warmer. Okay, now let's add another layer also for the pot. So I'm going to bring it under here, and the pot I wanted to make it like a creamy color. Okay, so I'm going to go with a standard brush, and I'm going to draw all the way. Actually, this is too orange. I don't like it. Let's go yellow. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my plant and to do the automatic selection, invert it, and here I'm going to clear this layer. There we go. Now I can automatically select this layer itself. So I'm gonna, okay, and as you can see there's a little bit showing through, and what I want to do is I want to create the edges. I'm going increasing the brightness and decreasing, increasing the saturation and decreasing the brightness, and then I'm going to feather it in more. And here I'm going to increase the brightness and just slightly decrease the saturation. Okay, so now we have those hard edges. So it's really cool. I love digital watercolor because it's really cool how you can do this so easily. And what I want to do is I want to add a bit of color variation here. Let's feather it out a bit. And let's make it slightly darker, slightly brighter, and slightly cooler. There we go. Now we can start working on our shadows, and I'm going to switch to my plant layer. I'm going to create another layer and multiply, and I'm going to select automatically only the plant on my plant layer, and then go into the new layer and multiply that I created. So here I still have my sketch kind of visible, and I'm going to use my lighter green, and I'm going to use my shadow brush, no, smudge blush. Okay, so I'm gonna make it quite small. So I see that I have these three leaves, like three kind of parts of my plant that are in front, and I'm going to outline them like so. And smudge it out. So here I can do it multiple times, but the thing is that it doesn't create such a hard edge as I would like it to. So I'm going to take the shadow brush better, and then I'm just going to smudge it in. So what I'm going to do is, again, just outlining this. And smudging it out. I'm going to go a bit darker here, and a bigger brush. Let's turn it upside down. Okay. Then here, the same thing, and I want this one to be the frontal one. So I'm completely outlining it and just smudging it out. Okay, what I can do now is take my blender and blend this part in. So you see, it kind of creates the shadow and brings the petal kind of to the front. See? Okay, now I'm gonna add another layer, another and multiply. Gonna do the same thing for this one. No, I don't want you. Yes, thank you. And I'm gonna blend it a bit out here. Blending it a bit out, adding a bit more pigment here. Okay, and I'm gonna take the smudge tool. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna smudge this, leaving the hard line. Okay, now what I can do is I can pinch these two levels together. The layers. Why am I saying levels? I don't know what's happening to me today. So I'm gonna take this one, and I'm gonna do the same thing for the next petal, the leaf, I don't know, of the succulent here, and it deselected, so I'm gonna go back here, automatically select, invert, and go back to my layer. Okay, so here and here, and now I'm gonna smudge it out. Okay, and you can see how it, here I'm gonna take a smaller brush to create that little corner, and then just blend it out. And you can see how we created already the shadows for our leaves to bring them out in front. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pinch these together. I'm going to select, yes, thank you, close this, select just randomly, feather it out a bit, and I'm gonna go into the cooler color. So here we have already some variation created, and now I need to add also the shadows to each leaf as well. So what I can do here is, we can see if it's not enough, what I can do is I can duplicate this, and it's going to give me another layer on top, and we can just lower the opacity of this layer just to increase that contrast between the leaves. Okay, and what I can do is I can pinch these layers already together, select, automatic select my plants, invert, and here I'm gonna create the shadows, and the shadows I'm gonna go bluer. Here I have the multiply layer, and I'm gonna make the shadows with my shadow brush. So all the, it's too small. Each leaf will have its own shadow, so like so. Oh, come on, turn. Actually, I don't know if I like the hard edges. I don't like the hard edges because they're quite round in my mind. So I'm gonna do the smudge wash here. I'm gonna add a bit of blue just to create kind of a shadow effect. Like so. And to pick the brush. Still thinking, sorry. Okay, so here, it's still too big. And we blend it into our flowers. If it's too dark or too blue, you can always lower the opacity of the layer. Okay. Smudge it out here as well. Oh, come on. Okay, let's smudge it away a bit. There we go. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select only this layer. Feather it out a bit, and I'm going to make it warmer. There we go. Okay, so already they don't look so flat. And now we have to do the same thing. I'm gonna merge these layers. I'm gonna do the shadow on my pot. It lets me select it. Ooh, almost dropped the bottle of water. So I'm gonna go to the layer of my pot, automatically select it all, invert, create a new layer and multiply. Yes, one, scratch, scratch, scratch. And I'm gonna add a shadow. Actually, I'm gonna add a blue shadow. Let's see how it works. So if I do like so, and the shadow on this side and the shadow there, and let's blend it out a bit. to erase a bit the line here. It's gonna be okay. Okay, so now what I want to do again with this one, first of all, I want to see how dark I want to make it, and then I want to go into my random selection, feather it out a bit, and go hue and saturation and make it warmer. And feather it out a bit more. Hue and saturation. Like so. I think it's quite nice. What it lacks here is a bit of the detailing with the pencil. So I'm gonna think about, okay, so let's merge these layers. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to erase something on my, erase some kind of a, let's see, what can we do here? Something to inspire me. Let's do some, this is too small. See, are you erasing or you're not? Yes, because it didn't pinch them together. Okay. Oh, come on. Really need a new iPad. Actually, I don't like these. Let's do, this would work. Just the dots. Okay, and I'm tempted to actually add the highlights onto my succulent here. Okay, and now I need some texture. So let's see. I'm going to go with my pencil again, so just to keep it all in the same style. And I'm going to go into multiply. Again, I'm going to select only my plant so that I don't go outside its boundaries. And I'm going to do some lines here because it's quite smooth. Kind of indicating where it grows from. Let's see, I think it's good. Boo-boo, stop chewing my iPad. There we go, kind of intensifying the shadows at the same time. Don't bite me. Like so. It's gonna turn. Ah! Stop biting it, boo-boo. There we go. And we have the same style. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna a bit lower the opacity of this so we can see the texture, but it's not because they're kind of smooth. So there we go. We have 4 plants done, 1 more to go, and yeah, that one I'm gonna finish it later. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. really would love to hear from you. And for now, this is it. Come here, Raman. I want to say hi. Yes, this is Raman that's trying to draw with me on iPad most of the times. Yes. Say hi. And there's Boo Boo who's trying to eat my iPad. Come on, y'all. Boo Boo, go away. Go away. The attack bird. The attack bird. Go. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope that this was interesting. I will see you soon, okay? I promise. Just as I get better kind of emotionally as well, because it's been kind of a really crappy year. But not complaining. So just wanted to say thank you for watching, and let's remove this. Let's see. Wah! Yes, I'm gonna destroy the wall. And yeah, if you liked it, then it would be awesome to see some comments from you. We would love hearing from you guys. So I will see you in the next video, okay? Thank you. Bye.